As effectively as possible. See how they do as we hop onto the rip. Oh my god. The BRION fandom is just amazing. And I have to admit, I took a bit of a glance at Twitch chat and you guys did not disappoint.
Nope.
Thank you so much. Fred BRION games in 2022 absolutely were a joy. And it looks like it's continuing here for BRION in 2023. Sylvie, walking over a ward here. I believe knows that it's there. Wasn't able to actually take that one down. Bit of scouting being done by Bro as, yeah, DnDn starting off the shenanigans
doing some
early.
jumping jacks, you know, getting a little warmed up.
Yeah, you got to make sure you do stretches before you get into lane against the Fiora. Very, very important.
He's trying to warm his vitals up to be behind him in the lane towards the turret, not towards the bottom side where Vital actually is.
I feel like DnDn knows. He's like, yeah, the camera's going to be on me.
Oh, he certainly does.
I just need to make sure that I'm spamming the emotes correctly.
Just like the Lucian that does like push-ups with no arms.
Okay, Morgan.
Yeah.
He's just going to walk in. DnDn's, of course, there. This is aggressive. Finds the weak point. The Vital pointing up. Absolutely the wrong direction. Big claps from the Bro fans.
Well, this does quite significantly slow down Sylvie's path bottom side here, which does open up an opportunity for UmTi to get the jump on that bottom 2v2 when we get to the level 3 exchange that we always see right now in this meta where it's Lucian versus Zeri.
Yeah.
So, good start here. I like the idea when you have this Fiora at level 1, you can try to make tricky plays like this. And if DnDn doesn't react quickly too, you might actually really put the hurt on Sylvie and delay him even further. Now, UmTi looks like he wants to try to invade and steal this. I think a little bit mistimed. We'll see. Flashes for it.
Oh, he flashes and he steals it away! UmTi just... I don't know what this style is that they're employing, but I love it. I'm a big fan.
Now, he did have a ward there, in fact. So, you know, this is not completely blind, but really risky. If you flash that, don't get the smite, and your flash is on the wrong side of the jungle.
It was very close.
It was very close. Calculated.
Oh, well, I mean,
Giga Chad play.
I think he knew that Sylvie didn't have it, as now he's just... just walks past him menacingly and heads over towards the Raptor camp.
They've got these wards set up.
Yeah, just to continue ruining Sylvie's day. And of course, UmTi had an extra charge of his smite available, and so now he can challenge for this red buff as well.
Yeah, Sylvie going to have to start these Krugs, so he might actually, as you say, challenge the red buff here. And the ward control, the vision that they had early allows these plays to happen. It's very UmTi, right, to do something like this with the small delay he was given early. Like, this is a great plan here from level 1 with his comp that Fred BRION have figured out.
Yep.
Not going to go full commitment here to deny
First strike
Sylvie.
value.
Yep.
First strike value right there.
Like, Sylvie's level 2, and I think he's about to get double scuttle.
Yeah, and we've actually seen First Strike Maokai's get abused in a very similar way, to be perfectly honest, as DnDn going aggressive onto Morgan here. Nicely played. Cull the Meek. Going to come through there.
Yeah, Meek, weak, whatever, same thing.
Yeah. Actually, it's technically not, I think. Oh, wait, no, never mind. It's a translation situation of a very famous quote where Meek doesn't necessarily mean weak. But I think it does, kind of.
It's not exactly the same meaning, but
yeah.
I'm not the etymologist here.
Stendo beam, a lot of damage onto effort there, as we can see.
We'll call Webster later. So,
you have any connections?
Yeah, I've got him on speed.
I don't. As Morgan's going to get punished, and Q. That's the cheat code. That's how you get out.
Yeah. Not not meek enough to be killed here, but Sylvie's going to get some revenge, right? Gank onto Morgan is successful, forces him to back and TP in. So TP advantage goes over to DnDn early here in the lane. Will cost a significant amount of CS away from Morgan. We'll steal that away, and Sylvie grabs these top side Krugs. Yep, bottom lane, because of UmTi's early pressure, has just been free to continue to push here. There's no punish coming through from Sylvie whatsoever because of his pathing was super delayed. He does also end up grabbing the top scuttle here with this attempt to gank Morgan. So things definitely turning around a little bit for him, but the bottom side very comfortable with this free bash.
Yeah. And Karis, of course, someone that we haven't really spoken about so far, coming through on to Bro to fill some pretty big shoes of Lava, who was definitely one of the front runners for this team. But Karis, in his own right, definitely has had some moments and was on, you know, a team that wasn't necessarily winning all that much. And when he was on Gen.G as well in their challenger roster, that was when a lot of that real hype came, and then wasn't able to deliver quite as much as a lot of people, I think, expected, but still has a lot of that potential, and we'll see whether he can meet it here as Sylvie comes on over and is going to be able to secure his big Raptor. Unable to collect that one, but does, once again.
First strike value.
12 gold?
And with the blasting wand, he's doing so much chip damage.
Oh yeah,
Look at Sylvie, man. He's sitting at like 95%.
He can barely jungle now.
UmTi is going to attempt, of course, to steal that one away. A little bit of an early smite, but actually now kind of setting up for an early Drake take once Hena clears this wave. But I think a lot of this is really just based around FIESTA in these early levels not being able to threaten Karis in any way. The prio that Azir has pre-Akali ult. So they're going to make this happen. And Vital and Peter, unfortunately, just going to have to catch the wave. And the lead that UmTi had in the jungle, it's still significant, don't get me wrong, but I think Sylvie handled what was a pretty rough situation very well, you know, forcing Morgan to back early, taking away some of the power of the Fiora, and finds himself, you know, again, significantly behind, but it could have been a lot worse.
It definitely could have. He's salvaging it relatively effectively. The problem is that it's First Strike Maokai that has been able to actually have a pretty aggressive start to the game as Hena dashes forward and takes 1 billion damage. Great Aqua Prison there from Effort. Try and hold on to this wave, but Exhaust and Heal both invested on the side of Bro, and Peter only needing to utilize the heal.
Yeah, Vital trying to dash past that Aqua Prison to get the trade there with his early Scepter, but not quite enough, unfortunately, with Peter getting caught there in the prison himself. And Hena's just trying to use this passive as much as possible, zone them out of some CS here. One more arrangement he wants to deny the cannon, and he will. Just these small micro moves here to get as much of an edge as possible while UmTi lurks. Level 6 just reached.
Yeah. Dive opportunity now presenting itself as Summoner spells available outside of the heal. So a fair bit of mitigation available here, but level 6 is hit by UmTi, gets the flash out of Vital immediately, and now he can come on forward. Peter down to 100 health, Effort looking to try and set it up for Hena, piercing light, and that will do it. They'll get a plate to add on to boot, and Bro off to a great start.
Really great start, and they juggled the aggro of the turret very well. And Vital kind of had wind of this, right? He was like, I think something is wrong. He goes over to Ward, and that's the moment when UmTi strikes, right? And yeah, just not a ton of information, not a ton of vision. 3 control wards now across the river for BRION here to set up this gank play. Sylvie on the other side of the map is going to be able to get this Herald here uncontested, so there is a cross-map play. And with DnDn having some control over this lane, they might be able to grab some extra gold for this Renekton. Obviously would like to have it on this Akali, if possible, mid. But still, keeping this Zeri down early, grabbing an early kill for Hena, plate money. BRION using the Lucian Nami very well, because we've mostly seen this across the LCK as the Zeris are struggling in lane, but this is getting extra value than average. Just UmTi just waits, okay, Vital flashes, I turn my attention to Peter, and Effort juggles the aggro one more time so that Hena can make sure he gets the kill.
Yeah, really nicely done. I like that Hena also didn't walk forward to get the auto attack, instead piercing light to behind the turret there, in order to make sure that he was able to walk out even without Relentless Pursuit available. Cute little micro adjustments there, but it's not really saving the issues that are present here for BRION. With that Herald going down, like you say, the solo lanes could certainly start accelerating here for Nongshim. And DnDn is a big problem. And if they really start to put Morgan super far behind, the Fiora does basically nothing, right?
Yeah.
She sort of relies on being able to win 1v1s.
There's a lot of weird matchups where Fiora could just say, well, I beat you even if I'm behind. But against a Renekton that's ahead and a Fiora that's shut down and loses her turret, you just get dove repeatedly with a Vi. You know, yeah, you can riposte, but you can't riposte everything. There's a cooldown on that. There's a limit to what you could do. And then you could really just find yourself being a paperweight in the game for sure. And 20 CS down, we're not at that point yet, but we may fast approach it depending on how this Herald gets used.
Yeah.
Keeping a close eye on Sylvie for now.
Yeah, Sylvie now just clearing out the rest of his jungle. Doesn't have a whole lot left after this. So we'll see where he is going to spend his time. Of course, level 7 now as another Nature's Grasp comes through. It's used very late. Does have that speed up mechanic, but Vital's able to just walk it out. Has a dash available as well. And that was an opportunity for Bro, right? Because Nature's Grasp up and available before that flash is, unfortunately didn't quite work. And this is what we were talking about. If those riposts are good, then Morgan can definitely win out on these trades.
Yeah. The Renekton part of this matchup is self-explanatory, but the timings of the riposts for the Fiora, that's where the real skill expression is. Obviously, there's a little bit of RNG with the weak points and stuff like that, but I feel like we've seen now play like 7 or 8 of these Maokai ultimates bottom side that aren't angled enough towards the turret, and the enemy laners just skate out. Summoners should know. This is another one of those for UmTi. Just unfortunately not quite able to extend it. It's a very deceptive reach that the Maokai ultimate has, actually, where you're like, do I reach this in time if I angle it that way? The answer is usually yes, but doesn't get him this time. So opportunity missed on the bottom side, but DnDn really putting the pressure on up here. We'll see if UmTi can punish.
Well, immediately the Ghost is going to be popped here as DnDn, oh dear, just don't think that he's going to have enough to get out of this one. We'll need to slice, dice, and then do even more of those abilities that have a similar name. Doesn't have them available, and that is going to be Morgan picking up the second kill for Bro.
This is huge. You know, all of the worries we had for the Fiora are now kind of allayed here. As it will be mid, where FIESTA is going to pick up plate gold here. The timing of this, right with the spawn of the Infernal Drake. So they're going to try to, with Zeri coming back over here to lane faster with Hena's back timing, to turn this into plate gold cross map with a Drake. And with UmTi being topside, they know there's just no smite fight here, even though his ult is available. So it's a pretty good call here for Nongshims to kind of rush straight for dropping that Herald and going for a Drake. One for one.
Yeah, so they're going to even up the Drake count. It is going to be Chemtech Drake, in Challenger known as Jeff. Of course, that's what Nongshim would be calling him last year.
Yes.
Not so much this time around. We are in the LCK, so it's just Chemtech Drake.
We got to give you guys the cool, like, appetizer, the little, like, ooh, we have inside jokes over there.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we do a bit of advertising. It's a brand new channel, you know, you got to do that.
LCK CL Global 2023. Check it out. Anyways, this is pretty self-explanatory. CC chain there, and Morgan handles it well, or rather follows up on it well. And
absolutely. DnDn also able to grab himself a plate here. I like that. Cool guys don't look at explosions as he walks away with that money. But Morgan up here and wants to try and get back within touching distance of this CS gap, which is getting quite large, as you can see. Divine Sunderer now online. A lot more DPS available for this particular Renekton. Doesn't have a whole lot of defensive statistics. Sylvie might make it so that doesn't really matter. Of course, Cease and Desist, or what was formerly known as Assault and Battery, is very repostable.
Yeah. I think that UmTi is unseen right now.
Morgan, dangerous. There's the flash forward, and Cease and Desist is there. Easily chomped up, and that's what happens when you use riposte and you don't have to.
Now, UmTi was on a control ward, bottom side, so they were waiting, biding their time, like, okay, is UmTi nearby? Should we commit to this? And I'm not 100% sure if he was seen, if someone dropped a ward in there or not, but they did pull the trigger there, grab the kill. UmTi is bottom side here, and the reaction is very fast from Vital and Peter. Very difficult to dive them, but they're going to try to hold the turret.
Yeah, they're going to do so. That's a dangerous prospect indeed. However, Hena was tanking the turret. Oh my goodness, the fadeaway culling was almost enough, but not quite. They get the teleport out. Was actually stopped, I believe. Oh, no, never mind. It was FIESTA coming in. I saw the fact that DnDn's teleport was also on cooldown. I'm like, how did you cancel that? That's not possible anymore.
Yeah, this ends up being pretty, I mean, yeah, you get some damage done to this mid turret as Karis here, but not a ton of value there, and you don't end up being successful to dive. You get a teleport, but a lot of value for DnDn topside after this gank. Just watching the minimap, I don't think they did, in fact, spot UmTi. They just decided, okay, he used his riposte, we're going in, guaranteed kill. Just that simple. UmTi decides to try to make the crossplay happen. Unsuccessful, unfortunately, with the wave cleared. And Nongshim trade back nicely, and this Renekton is becoming a big problem.
He is, especially at this stage of the game, right? 15 minutes, 15 to 25 is about when the Crocodile has his prime. And he's set up to have a pretty good one here as DnDn tidies up these minions. Only has a little bit more to get through as far as that turret. No more plates to collect. As you can see, a little bit more plate money going over to Bro. One extra plate. Not too much to write home about there. And this game, very even when it comes to gold. When it comes to objectives as well, as we can see. The Rift Herald available now. So Bro going to need to take that one if all things are going to be equal. But the Dragons one apiece as well. Next one up in a minute and a half.
The gold graph, and we're looking at 400 gold here. The peak for the side of Nongshim, 700 for Bro. It's been oscillating. And this next dragon fight is going to be quite critical, I think, for BRION's comp. This is the Gale Force spike, right? You have your Azir who's got Crown. You can go deep, look for a big scoop. And you're going to lose, very likely, first turret here on the top side of the map. If you can't commit mid here, you're not able to get that one. So this fight is really important for BRION, I think, in this composition. Especially if Fiora could somehow get some gold out of it. Big first strike value.
Yeah, that's vital, getting the message that Hena is indeed very scary. Still has the Gale Force active, left up and available. So you can see Culling just able to be thrown out. FIESTA walks relatively quickly, but not quite quickly enough to avoid a bunch of those bullets. And Morgan, I think, is just going to lose his turret here.
It's very close on the bottom side. Karis looks like he's not going to quite get it in time, though. So first turret blood goes to Nongshim, first brick. Here's the ult from UmTi, though.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp is coming in, but Bro decide, nah, I'll just send some cats after him, see what happens. As it turns out, they get snared, and then they take the Herald.
FIESTA being here in mid means it's very difficult for Bro to just say, okay, we'll collapse over to the Drake. Can't do that either, even with Karis there. No TP on Morgan. And FIESTA basically in range to assassinate Hena if they did decide to try to rotate over there and look for it. So Nongshim now in position to use this Herald to actually set up for the second Drake for them. The third Drake of the game, of course.
Yeah.
Very close game, and so much respect being shown by both teams, I think, in these setups. But this is where I think we're going to see the first big team fight.
So much of it, I feel, is going to come down to Vital versus Morgan in a lot of instances, right? Like, the ability for Bro to 1-4 effectively hinges on whether or not this Fiora can get to that that break point in being able to side lane against DnDn at any moment.
Teleport advantage right now. Yeah, he does have teleport advantage, but he's not threatening anything at the moment. Talking about Morgan. So he does back here. Forces DnDn over, who does not have teleport. And they haven't dropped the Herald. So right now, BRION, Drake Prio in their hands. It's very slight, but I mean, they know that they have Fiora on TP. They can rotate her in slowly. She can go over and catch that wave and come in at any point.
Yeah, a lot of the map feeling pretty dark here for Bro. Of course, utilizing the new Chemtech Rift in order to scry all of those wards down to 1 health. Pretty handy as FIESTA gets a backflip onto Karis. Karis has a team and, of course, a turret, so he should be fine. Tidal Wave only going to connect with Shirley, who is going to get taken down before she charges, but it gives Nongshim inside track over towards this Drake. It is going to get started up immediately. Can Bro find an angle is the question. UmTi does have the ulti back available.
They can find a target here for Sylvie to actually lock down. It's really easy to turn, but the positioning here of Hena is staying in mid. It looks like you're just going to simply give this one up. And there's the TP finally coming back online for DnDn to catch this top wave. You're getting some value there on the top side, but the big win is the Drake.
Yep, also Bro being able to push up this mid lane. They might even be able to get some decent damage onto this inner turret. So trying to split, trying to trade that Chemtech Drake as they'll use the Nature's Grasp to guarantee the turret. I really like this. Karis is going to push back the Crocodile as well. See whether they can make a handbag of him. Not able to right here as Sylvie dives forward, flashes over the wall. Karis so extraordinarily low as Hena dashes on him, but Peter almost just barely able to survive. Oh, the perfect execution into the backline from FIESTA as Morgan is trying to dash his way out. And Nongshim come alive.
Oh, Nongshim certainly do. FIESTA picking up 3 in this fight. And this is suddenly a big breaking point here for Nongshim because now you've got Akali who's fed. The Fiora doesn't get the top turret, doesn't get any side lane value, doesn't do really anything for you in this fight. Nongshim also grabs Dragon. And this whole thing is started by UmTi saying, okay, I'm going to set up this dive for the Lucian. This is really similar to what we saw in the previous game, in the previous series with Viper, where you have the Maokai ult sets up the Lucian to get value, right? But it's Karis who sets this up, gets really vulnerable. There's no follow-up damage here. Hena goes extremely deep here without getting the kill. And it's just Fiesta's playground now.
Yeah. And he's making this Akali pick look genius as well, being able to get there in the nick of time. He was actually in top lane with Morgan at the start of that. Rotated earlier, of course, got the inside track through the jungle. Beautifully done by the Nongshim mid laner.
So punishing this draft for Nongshim, and it's exactly how they used it there. Tiamat being done here for Morgan now allows him to push very quickly, but it doesn't matter the speed at which you can push unless you're there alone, right? Because you're not going to win out that trade against the Renekton. If you don't know where the Vi is, you can't be threatening any turrets. That top turret's still alive right now.
Yeah.
And this is just Fiora struggling to get value in this mid game. Now, that can change if she can get some extra gold or if she's given some extra space here for Bro. But it's such a big turnaround now because this Fed Akali is a new threat. We were talking about how it could be a problem later. It was very similar to Zeka in the last series where it's like, okay, yeah, 0-0 Akali, we'll wait and see. And then suddenly it happens. Suddenly he picks up a triple kill, and now this is a huge threat. 6 stacks of Dark Seal, a stopwatch picked up here, Shadow Flame on the way. It's gnarly.
Yeah, he could also be going for a Rabidance and just do like the, I'm going to build full damage. I'll get enough money to finish Void stuff pretty soon as well. So I'm just going to maximize it. UmTi stacking up some kitties in this brush as DnDn may walk forward and check. We shall see. As UmTi decides to vacate. I think got word that there might be people heading down.
He's been spotted by the Scryer's Bloom as well.
Yeah.
Chemtech Rift. Really easy to see stuff.
Oh man, looks like Bro are just trying to set up all these little traps for Nongshim, and Nongshim are like, nah, just not into it.
The cool thing about what Nongshim are doing here is that they're staying grouped on the side of the map that the Fiora is on because the Akali is so fed and Karis can't compete with the Akali anymore in the side lane. They could just kind of follow Morgan around and make sure he never gets that extra CS, never gets that space in the side lane to start catching up and being a threat. And it doesn't matter if there's an objective up or not, because Nongshim are so ahead right now that they can kind of zoom around the map and be like, no Fiora side lane problem? Okay, that's all we need.
Yeah. It's working out very well thus far. Just have to see whether the team fighting can continue to be this good, because that setup for FIESTA, that can be replicated if he can just have that playground like you mentioned before. This game could become very difficult, and Hena really needs to make sure that he's the one that's able to dictate where the damage is coming from, who starts these battles. We saw what Viper was capable of on this Lucian pick in the last game. Hena needs to try and do that himself right here, because Lucians can honestly just take over by themselves.
Certainly can, especially when there's a Maokai and an Azir to deliver targets to the Lucian. But the overextension really was the opportunity that FIESTA seized upon. So we'll see BRION grouping around this top side of the river here to protect Morgan as he takes out a turret. The problem is you're going to lose control of Drake without a TP. DnDn can match TP of Morgan and deny his TP as well very easily here.
Yeah.
So you get a top turret, but this is going to be Chemtech Soul Point.
Or it's just going to be Baron for
yeah.
Chemtech Soul Point, which I guess is a trade you're probably all right with. I believe Vision not available.
None.
The cat is going to come out. Is now Bro back away from that Baron pit. I actually thought they could have been able to force it there, but instead they're going to lose this bottom outer turret, and they'll probably lose the dragon as well.
Yeah, they at least were able to help Morgan grab that topside turret. It's a trade of turrets, so it's, you don't feel good, but like if Nongshim are late to respond and they get the turret and the Baron, you feel amazing. In this
they
case,
also get down towards the Drake too to deny that.
So you at least are able to, as BRION, go, okay, yeah, we are able to trade a turret and get Fiora some money, any money, please, and prevent Nongshim from getting Prio on this Drake for free. So good idea here. Kind of T1-esque, actually, really, what we saw from Bro just there.
Yep, I like it. Although Hena now in a whole lot of trouble. He is going to get taken extraordinarily low. He flashes, kept alive just barely. I swear I saw him die.
Yeah.
But instead,
the heal just like brought him back to life. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the revival heal.
Well, he may be alive, but BRION, or rather formerly BRION, BRION, are not going to be taking this Drake. He is essentially dead and will not be here to contest, unfortunately, despite efforts.
Yeah.
Wow, I really walked into that one, didn't I? So Chemtech, Soul Point now online here, and going to make a Zeri below 50% health do a lot more damage. Very much a problem.
Very much.
As, yeah, Hena here, he gets ulted, DnDn comes through, Tidal Wave buys time, he dashes, goes down to like 0, gets healed here. Like, what?
It was absurdly close. But still, like you were saying, the damage still done here by Nongshim. Able to grab that second Chemtech Drake for themselves as FIESTA gets Brambly Smash and doesn't really mind.
This game, I feel like, it does feel like a challenger's game in a lot of ways, and Nongshim have really nice lead. The Fiora has been mostly neutered this game, but look at the gold lead, and it's only 1,000 really here. About 900 for Nongshim. They do have the control over Drakes, right? But the biggest problem here that is kind of, if you haven't been watching LCK for a while, because it's been a while since we've had this, Zeri is fastly approaching 3 items, and Nongshim, if they get into a bad spot on a Drake fight because they have Soul Point, they can walk away. So, you know, we don't have to fight this right now. And if they can keep dealing with this Fiora, which they will not do, at least at this very moment in time as I say it, then I think they could try to control the pace of the game with that Zeri scaling. Yeah. It's still anyone's game to take, man. I feel like one wrong team fight and this one turns back on its head.
It's absolutely right. And DnDn's also gone for the Prowler's Claw build as well. Not going to be as great into the Morgan matchup, but works for assassinating Hena.
Yeah.
So anytime...
Or Karis.
Yeah, or Karis. Or anytime anyone plays overly aggressively, the Crocodile launches out of the river. And that is the thing that happens. Crocodiles do that. They have a lot of burst movement speed. So Prowler's Claw on a Renekton in theme. And we'll see whether DnDn's going to be able to use it effectively, because it does take away from his split pushing power. It does show that that's not what they're trying to do. They're not trying to get a Crocodile that can match the Fiora, which is good, because he never really does, right? Just based on the champions. Right now, doing okay. Does have, you know, a bit of an advantage as far as the farm was concerned, but actually that has turned around completely.
The cool thing about this for Nongshim is, yeah, DnDn is sad-faced here. He's like, I can't win the 1v1, but if he has help from Sylvie, who can play around DnDn here in the side lane, it becomes very difficult for Morgan to get permanent damage. And FIESTA doesn't need help in a 1v1 here against this Azir. And because of Akali's kit, even if UmTi comes over, he can get out of a lot of scenarios 1v2. He's very slippery, very fed, has a stopwatch, etc., etc. Did go for the Shadow Flame here second. So Sylvie could basically keep his focus on helping DnDn keep this Fiora off the inner turrets.
No, I like it a lot. Actually very interested in how this next fight is going to go, because I feel like the preparation for these engagements is done really well on both sides. It's just about the execution and how it's all going to come together that it's really going to come down to. It's FIESTA in the river here one more time. Spots a kitty. He's going to walk into it. Now it looks like Rift Scuttle is going to be the prize that Bro can collect. And Vital biding his time. 0-0-3 right now on the Zeri.
We've seen so many attempts by Nongshim, and a lot of them successful, to break Karis' crown. We saw it with the Rocket Belt. We've seen it with the Extendo Beam, and BRION once again starting this up.
Oh, DnDn very aggressive onto Morgan here. Wants to try and find that last one. It's not going to be enough. Oh, the grand challenge was successful. However, the kill does not come through. Nature's Grasp to come down. UmTi wants to rush it. He successfully gets the Baron, but can they get out is the question, as Hena wants to desperately pick up the kill, but it's not going to work. Cease and Desist comes in, and he absolutely does that. FIESTA goes gold, and UmTi just trying to get his team out of there, but Vital says nope. A double kill comes down for the Vi, and I think they may have just traded the Baron for all their lives. A couple of kills go over to Karis, but that's about it. Effort, the sole remaining member with the Baron.
Greedy for Frederick BRION. They get punished here, as we're going to watch this one more time. DnDn is down a level, has so much value out of the ult with the stun coming through. Morgan with the riposte here at the end of this in the Grand Challenge, but still gets taken out. This ends up being not that impactful in the grand scheme of this Baron. It's really just about, UmTi says, I think this ult is going to be enough, but he doesn't catch FIESTA, who's able to lock into Hena here with that back move. If that misses, I think a lot more of these players get out alive. The timing of this Zonias from FIESTA is perfect as well, so UmTi can't lock him down. UmTi just has to die to hope the rest of his team gets out. Vital comes over here, and yes, Karis' ult was pretty amazing in terms of trying to shut down the chase, and he trades one back, but he will go down, and this is so much more money into the side of Nongshim. Are looking now for this Chemtech Soul as they group up.
Yeah, that one's going to be alive, so bro, they need to fight for this one. Nongshim with a lot of control of the map based on the fact that they're the ones with Soul Point available. Just one Cloud Soul available to Bro as Nature's Grass coming through once again. This time, it's not going to be that 1v1, and in fact, all of the Nongshim team are coming down. Morgan in a whole lot of trouble as DnDn, he goes golden. Vital picks up the kill. UmTi twisted advance to push Vital in, but he's got a stopwatch as well. UmTi now trying to walk this one out, but he's not going to be successful. A second kill for the Zeri, but she will finally go down. The culling going to be utilized, and now it's Effort and Hena against the world. Hena manages to get a kill, but it's still going to be a double for the Akali, and that's the ace. Nongshim RedForce, they'll grab a soul, and they're in a great position to win this game.
Yeah, Atlas, you said they're in a great position to win this game. It's almost impossible now for BRION to recover. 2 kills for DnDn against Morgan on the side, and this is one of those moments where Morgan is like peeing the hull breaker, where he's like, I want to be alone. I would like to have some more resistances, UmTi. I would like to have some more resistances with my hull breaker. I think he dies either way here. UmTi tries his best to save him. DnDn just has so much extra power with this ult here, gets the extra dash. And despite Hena's best efforts here to stay alive and carry this fight, he just has to back away, and FIESTA shows up and cleans up house. Like, this fight is won without FIESTA at the beginning of it, and right when the turn attempt happens, he's like, nope, I'm here, sorry. Fed Akali alert.
Yeah, I have to say, watching DnDn play, he's got a great Renekton, man.
He really does.
This is some really good Prowling Renekton. Just executing really beautifully, managing to stopwatch after wasting all of Morgan's time, right? He's trying to get to that last Vital in order to get that healing field. He denies it entirely and then goes golden to make sure that there's no way that it's going to happen. Really, really cool play.
Yeah, and he has the Serelda's finish now as well, which is quite absurd. When a Renekton is so ahead that he's sitting on 3 items and one of them is a Serelda's, while he's also got Executioner's Calling, you're like, I don't know, maybe late game Renekton is a thing.
Yeah,
maybe we need
certainly
to consider.
working now. Certainly working now.
People said he can't scale, but I mean, I'm looking at his body and I'm looking at those items.
And I'm looking at what he's doing in the team fights as well, where he's like actually getting around. He's got like, what, 3 dashes? Like, is that Cassante? Is that Crocodile Cassante? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, well, BRION, as it has been many times for them in the past, their last hope will be an Elder Flip at 36 minutes.
It all comes down to this. And 2 minutes on the Baron as well. We might get a flip for that one also.
Honestly, one of the things I will say about BRION, or I keep calling them Fredit, sorry, the name has changed. Old habits die hard. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
One thing about BRION here is that they had such a great level 1 plan coming to this draft. The execution was really crisp. Hena got some pressure down bottom side, right? But the mid game, it really hasn't been about Bro's failings, and more about Nongshim shutting Morgan down. And that a lot of that's been DnDn, but a lot of it's been Sylvie as well, just making sure this Fiora's side lane win condition doesn't happen. And obviously it gets a lot easier when FIESTA's like, well, I just crush the Azir even harder than usual in my side lane when he has 3 kills. But Nongshim have known their win condition so well. And I don't want to criticize Bros mid to late here as much as I want to champion how Nongshim have played this, especially DnDn.
Yeah, DnDn has just been, he's been my hero this game. This Renekton being played very, very well. FIESTA also 100% needs the shout out. Being able to get those 3 kills in that mid game put a huge wrench in what Bro were trying to achieve. Morgan comes back down towards this bottom side. DnDn lying in wait. He has the GA available. Still going to get stunned up as Led the Ruin King working out, keeping DnDn healthy. And he's like, no, that's my Krug, my friend. Sorry.
This is just, it's wild. We're watching this super fed Renekton just bully a Fiora, essentially here in the side lane at 35 minutes. A Fiora with full breaker, mind you, and I think BRION just had no angles here, no vision, no flank angle. I mean, this is a comp that from ahead is so powerful and honestly oppressive, but from behind like this, when a Renekton is just, the rift belongs to him, it's hard to find a way.
It really is. Certainly looking extraordinarily difficult. We do have 4 items complete for Vital. He has gone for a little bit more of the defensive option. Collected himself the GA instead of going for more damage. Hena, on the other hand, a lot of damage available for him. But we did see that you press the cease and desist button, the Lucian will die. So Hena's going to have to show that he can keep his distance and allow himself to do some of the damage in these fights.
The group up here to try to punish DnDn on the top side while they're also grouping for Baron is just so transparently red from FIESTA. Or rather, I think I said DnDn, but yeah, trying to collapse onto FIESTA here is just so transparently red. Like, bro are like, okay, we're going to group up with this. Maybe we pick the Akali and go for Baron. Nope, back out, grab my next item, teleport over here on the side. Fiora cannot compete with the Renekton. DnDn's crushing that one, and Nongshim are like, if you try to go and get Prio on this Elder, we can rush Baron in time. And if you try to contest us on Baron, we have silent control bottom, and we can get to Elder faster than you.
Yeah. Feels like they do have a lot of the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
It's like checkmate, you know?
Yeah, it's feeling like it, and they're going to start off the Baron here as well. They can pull off at any time, but it looks like they might just be able to complete it. Vital has a lot of damage available as FIESTA jumps on in. Not wanting to risk a flip, I don't think, because you can see most of them just standing outside of that pit. Morgan
the Lord
has discovered them. Okay, let's see what they can do. The Cullen getting so much value. Sylvie's just dead. DnDn as well, so incredibly low, but the flash has to come out, and now FIESTA! He's found Hena, who's overstepped yet again. The Aqua Prison is decent, but maybe not decent enough. The GA has been popped. Bro, looking for a little bit more here. As Morgan taking down the control ward, and they will just back away. 1 for 1.
I will say it was pretty Giga Chad, but I don't think it was the right call in this case.
No.
Hena goes over for the kill onto Hena there, and I believe it was the Gale Force he used to go back in. He's just instantly killed.
Well, they're going to get spotted here as Bro go for an opportunistic Baron. Remember, still 4v4. FIESTA now very, very low. Vital also, half health, has the GA.
No smite.
So it should be all right. And yeah, with no smite, the Baron just goes over to Bro. That's their second Baron. Can they actually win the game, though, is the question. Because Elder's up in 4 seconds!
Yeah, I think Nongshim kind of dropped the ball in terms of denying this Baron because they were so focused on getting the setup here on this Elder, which is the more important objective. But, I mean, Vital is he's here alone. Got to be careful. Got to stay back. This is a strong Bro lineup.
Well, UmTi is going to push FIESTA back. That is a huge blast cone, thanks to the Chemtech Rift. And it looks like we are going to be able to set up the battle lines.
The Elder flip for Bro. 38-minute win condition. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness. Where have we seen this before, Wolf? Oh, Peter. Those cats, they hurt. They definitely do.
Okay, FIESTA's going to try to push this mid inhibitor, slow this down.
Yeah, well, Bro say, no, we're just going to take an Elder Drake if you're going to stand over there. Sylvie wanted to make it that 50-50. As you can see, Peter's still very, very low. DnDn as well. Not a lot of health bar. Not a lot of these Nongshim players have been able to go back and reset. And you can see Bro all at full health.
Hena's positioning is so good here. No one can really threaten him.
Well, in goes Sylvie. Cease and desist going to be used. Great tidal wave going to be there, but Sylvie uses his stopwatch to get out of the way. A backflip does come through. Karis, he's going to push away the Akali perfectly. But still, going to be able to get out of there in Nongshim. Oh, the reset of the Elder. That is not what you want to see. Hena down to 0 health. And Morgan might just win the game. Oh, no, another Elder for Nexus trade. And DnDn is just a handbag on the fountain. He can't do anything about it. And it's also going to be Vital falling. It's a disaster entirely for this Nongshim roster as Morgan looks at his hands and wants to know what they're capable of. And it looks like killing a Nexus is one of them.
Well, you know, Morgan
wanted to walk away with the victory.
He got all the tilt-proof votes.
Oh, 100%.
As well.
Oh, man. UmTi did a lot of damage. Of course, that is some first strike Maokai for you. That's kind of just what happens there. I think my vote probably would have gone to UmTi just with how well he played the early game to keep them in it. Like, look at this gold graph as well. The game was so close until that blowout at around 30 minutes. It's just, I don't know, man. How do these games keep happening over and over again?
Classic Bro.